Hi, welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV. We're live on air, reacting to that game, Lens versus Arsenal. Arsenal won, Lens won, and you know what? Pretty decent game. Pretty decent game. I've got to say, a lot of young Arsenal players playing in the game. We didn't see, you know, most of the regular guys, which we knew would happen. We didn't see, of course, your Ozils and Alexis and people like that. We knew that those guys wouldn't be playing in the game. But I have to say, you know, a decent game. Very good workout for the Arsenal team, because I thought Lens, they looked fit, they looked good, they moved all around well. There was a very, very vociferous crowd in there, really behind the team. And it just felt like a proper game. And Arsenal, you know, started off well, passed the ball around well. You know, you could see, you know, listen, it's pre-season, so you could see that, you know, a lot of the players, you know, lacking in a few, you know, their fitness weren't fully up to speed. The passing wasn't fully up to speed, but it was still a, you know, decent enough performance by Arsenal. But then one of the things that have haunted Arsenal over the years, some defensive areas, really handing Lens the lead in the first half. Callum Chambers, what was he doing, son? Heading the ball back like that. And then Mertesacker, a little bit slow off the mark. We said that before. And then Debuchy could still have got their player who scored the goal. But listen, it's pre-season, so I'm not going to be too harsh. These things happen. But in the second half, I thought we picked it up well. Some of the young players on display, I thought, played really, really well. Nice little creative move by Serge Gnabry, putting Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. And what a brilliant finish. If you haven't seen the finish yet, go on to, I think, Arsenal.com will probably still have the highlights. Get over onto there, or probably all have a Twitter by now, right? Get onto there and have a look at that goal. It was absolutely brilliant. What a finish by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Great chip over the goalkeeper, right into the corner. And that's what the guy can do. And that's what we want to see more of this season from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. You know what? It was just good to see him fit. And I think there was a couple of guys on that pitch today. They've got a lot to prove. Of course, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is one of them. A lot to prove this season. It's going to be such a big, big season for him. Theo Walcott played okay. Got a lot to prove this season. A hell of a lot to prove. Fans kind of turned on him last year. It's really got a big season up ahead of him. And even guys like Serge Gnabry, back fit now. It was great to see him running out there today. Again, you know, I was glad that he created that move. Joel Campbell, who looked pretty sharpish when he came on. Bielik looked pretty composed to me at the back. And, yeah, you know, it was a decent little run out for the players. Nenny was on there as well. And some of the youngsters, I thought, as I said, you know, played pretty decently. Macy in goal made a great save. And he's a big lad, isn't he? Talking of big lads, did you see, I don't know if he's watching the game, the geezer at the back bar for Lens. I've never seen such a tall fullback. He was massive. But let me get into a few of your comments if I can get some. I'm taking them off of Twitter. I'm taking them off of also here on YouTube. So keep those comments coming in about what you thought about the game. Let's see. You know, I'm trying to dig through some of the hate first in the lack of transfers to get to people talking about the actual game. I'll get to transfers in a minute, but to get to talk to people that are talking about the game. Right. Yinka Coca says Walcott, Akpom and Chambers at centre-back had bad games. And he said, to be honest, Walcott is always crap. It's best to sell him. I wouldn't say they had bad games. They didn't have great games. You know, Akpom didn't have a great game, you know, but it's a friendly, you know what I mean? It's players have to ease in. We saw Manchester United get absolutely tonked earlier on in the day. But even that, you don't get carried away about that, because it's a friendly, you know, it's a friendly. And these things are going to happen in friendlies, but it's just great, really, not to lose the game. Silvino said Walcott's not even worth putting on the bench. He needs to be sold as soon as possible. Now, hold on. Can we just reverse all this hate on Theo Walcott? I mean, it's a new season. Let's see what happens. Let's give the guy a chance, for Pete's sake. I mean, don't get me wrong, he had a terrible season last year. No one is denying that. Terrible season last year, but come on, give a guy a chance. You know, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Well, there's loads of comments coming in, by the way, trying to keep up with them. Still on Walcott. Dre Bold One says Walcott still lives off of being Wenger's 16-year-old golden boy, so he's still not happy. As I said, you know, there's still a lot of hate on him. There's also some people commenting on Debuchy, saying that why was he playing, and again that they didn't really think he played very, very well. Rennie Adelaide didn't really do that much, they're saying. And Kev says totally fed up with us as the season hasn't even started yet, and I'm dreading that we won't even finish in the top 4 this year. Well, you know what? A lot of people said that last year, and we didn't. We finished second, so let's be a bit more optimistic. I know that people out there are really, really peed off about the lack of signings. We all want that striker. It would have been great to see a striker out there tonight, one that we bought to, you know, really make us excited, but it hasn't happened yet. And me, for one, still going to get behind the team. I'm going to get behind the team 100%. But I do hear the frustration and understand the frustration. I do understand it completely. But for now, we've got to get behind the team. We've got, you know, we want to see the team being as successful as they possibly can. So we need to get behind them. As I said, going back to the goal by Oxlade-Chamberlain, I thought it was an absolutely outstanding goal. Great finish by him. And we want to see that sort of stuff coming from him on a regular basis this season. We really want to see that. He's a top quality player, but we just don't see it enough. We see it in spits and spurts, and it needs to be now on a regular basis. It needs to be on a regular basis coming from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He really needs to challenge himself this season and say to himself, say that this has to be the season where I go out there and I really, really put in a shift each and every week, not one-offs. And if I was Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as well, I'd be saying to myself, I don't want to be doing this stuff from off the bench either. I want to be starting. It's time for him and Theo Walcott to say to themselves that, you know, I've been at this club for a long time now. It's time for me now to burst into this team, to show people what I'm made of. Eric Abraham says, Macy did pretty well in the second half, I thought. And again, I was pretty impressed with Macy. You know, a couple of good saves, really, really commanding, you know, big guy. Definitely one for the future. And we were looking at a lot of, you know, guys that we're going to be, you know, future guys. Zalalem was out there as well. Another comment here from Abu Salwa. He said, we find it difficult to score against teams that stay back and defend. The passing was slow. The passing was a bit slow, but again, pre-season. So you got to put that down to that. I wouldn't expect them to be zipping it, not yet anyway, this early in the season. Drebold also says it shows how we need a change of tactics. It's pre-season, but it's a French second division team. So he said, listen, it's pre-season. And that second division team, Lons, they've been playing now for weeks. So they're a lot fitter and a lot stronger than the Arsenal team. So, you know, we have to bear that in mind as well. I've got so many comments. You've got to bear with me. So many comments coming in here. It's hard to keep up. Jack Cayley says, Chris Willock looked class. And I did like the look of Willock. He done some nice little dribbles and turns when he came on. Also, Joel Campbell missing the net. Thank God it was offside. Yes, he did. But gosh, it's a friendly. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you. We're getting very harsh. I think the time, this is UKCOZ, he says, I think the time and confidence that Serge will get he can still become, if he's injury free, he should be a starter for me. Again, as I said, it's another guy that's got a lot to prove, you know, really do think that. This guy, Mesmeric Mezet 10 says that Robbie's son is Theo Walker. I think he's saying that because I'm defending him. No, listen, I'll defend all of our players when they deserve defending. And you know me, if they deserve to get stick, they get stick off of me. But I just think that, listen, last season, terrible, Theo Walker. Awful season for him. This season, you know, listen, I ain't even started yet. We're ready to kill him. We're ready to rip the guy up. Let's give the guy a chance and see what he's going to produce this season. You know what I mean? We don't just... This is not... I don't want us to be about that where we just go tearing into players before the season even started. Come on, let's give the guy a chance. So, you know, let me get into some comments here where people are talking about, inevitably, the subject goes from the friendly game tonight. 2 transfers. You got PAO 1908 says, Robbie, we aren't getting a striker until Wenger gets sacked or resigns. Listen, I do think that we are looking for a striker. I do think we are looking for a striker. It's Arsene Wenger. So, you know, there's no way I'm going to say, yeah, we're definitely going to get a striker, because I remember I was saying that last year. I was like, we have to, and we didn't. So, you know, I think if Arsene Wenger fails to get a striker this season, he's putting himself under some serious pressure with the fans. I think he'll be putting the team under unfair pressure as well, because the fans are just going to be on revolt mode, you know. I mean, already the comments that came out today from Ivan Gazidis comparing us with Leicester and talking, I mean, that didn't go down well. We need a marquee signing. I think, you know, that will really get the fans going. And, you know, the Rob Holding signing today is a great prospect. And there's nothing wrong with having a great prospect. As I was reminding a guy, my son was training football tonight, and one of the other parents was there, and we were talking about it, and he was like, Rob Holding, why? I said, listen, you could have said the same thing about John Stones a couple of seasons ago. Now teams want to buy him for like £50 million plus. So you can't just immediately dismiss a player like that. But listen, we all know we need that marquee signing. And if it's a striker, the vibes is going to be there with the fans and with the players. And I just think that failure to do that this time by Arsene Wenger would be criminal. It would be. Fares says, just sign Mahrez and Slimani and we'll be better. Who else have we got here? Apologise for this. It is really difficult to keep up with these comments, right? Because there are so many coming through. So it's really difficult. I'm trying to keep up with them, but it's really difficult. Let's see. Tom the Killer says, we played okay. Walcott was awful. Chamberlain looked good though. Okay. Adrian Blade says, this game tells us why we should go for Lacazette, if not Aubameyang or Griezmann. Listen, I'd love any of those three. The one that's available is Lacazette. The other two are literally unavailable unless you're willing to spend hundreds of millions of pounds, which, by listening to the CEO of the Arsenal Football Club this morning, there seems to be no way that he'll do that. Somebody here saying that they do support the Ox and all that he does, but they want to see him stepping up his game. And I think that's almost unanimous that, you know, everybody wants to see the Ox now stepping up his game. It's now do or die for Oxlade-Chamberlain. You know what I mean? We want to see Oxlade-Chamberlain now really showing us what he's made of. We know that the guy is a quality player, but we need to see it now on a regular basis, and that's what the fans really want to see. I'm going to do a couple more. Not going to keep you too long here tonight on a Friday night reacting to this live. Let's get a few more. Another person saying Walcott. I said, what? Everybody's on Walcott's case tonight, aren't they? Walcott has done nothing but grow a beard in 10 years. Oh my gosh. Gosh. Jerusalem says, don't understand how we can go the whole summer and not get a striker for our first friendly. It's a disgrace. You know what? I can see it already. It's like it's overshadowing even the friendly that's taken place tonight. As I said, good run out for the team. More friendlies to come, but already this whole thing of no striker is overshadowing Arsenal's preparation for the season. Arsene Wenger, you've got to go out there and get a top-class striker into the club. Signings like Rob Holding are great, you know, one's for the future, but we're looking at a game tonight where there's loads of players out there for the future. And that's fine. That's fine. That's great. Loads of players out there for the future. But the fans want a superstar to be there now. That's what we want. We want a superstar to be out there right now alongside the superstars that we've already got. And we think if we get that, we can challenge. We can challenge, but we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Thanks for watching this live stream where we reacted to the game. Lens won, Arsenal won. It's the first game of the season for Arsenal, first friendly. Of course, they then now move on to the US. We will be out there next week, Arsenal Fan TV, covering those games. So make sure you check out. We're going to be having loads of content right throughout the week over there in San Francisco and also in LA. We're going to be visiting some of the fan clubs over there. It should be a great experience. So keep it locked here on Arsenal Fan TV for that. Be back in the morning, of course, with Transfer Daily. If you haven't already watched today's Transfer Daily or today's Welcome to Rob Holding videos, make sure you check it out. But thanks for watching. Have yourself a good Friday night. Lens won, Arsenal won.